Hi, YouTube fans, I'm back. Well, it's quite late at night, but as I originally intended, concerning the video clip that I made before I made this one, I wanted to do another YouTube vlog, and I thought several hours about it. In fact, one of the things I did was I did a few household chores, and I also put 3 items up on eBay because it's been gnawing at me to do this, and I just thought, you know, and this is concerning the 3 items I put up. The first item I put up was a flip phone that I got at the grocery store I used to work at. It's a track phone that is put out by Blue, B-L-U, and it's a B something 300V. It's just a flip phone. And I fiddled around with it after paying for some prepaid minutes that I had to pay for. And, I just, it wasn't that exciting, and I let the minutes lapse. Because you had like a 90-day time frame to use them, or the minutes would expire. And it's been sitting around in my apartment for it's been sitting around in my apartment for 9 months doing nothing. And I've been thinking about it, and earlier today I made my mind up. I said, I got to get that thing up on eBay. I got to do it. I can't put it off anymore. This thing needs to go bye-bye. And then I put up an itty-bitty, teeny-weeny little thing of deodorant that I got as a gratuity with a food pantry that I got some food from. And also I put up a DVD. I think it's World's Greatest Lover, starring Gene Wilder. Came out in 1977. And then after that, I thought really seriously about a story idea, and I looked through my files, and I decided on this one. It's about a character named Hudson. Now, the story itself it's only 1.5 pages worth of dialogue. It's an unfinished story. But Hudson isn't just any old guy. And Hudson isn't one of these guys that went from one extreme to the other. He's pretty much led an incredible life. One of many incredible things he did was something he did when he was 9 years old. I'm not going to give anything more away because then I'm spoiling the enjoyment and the intrigue of the story. So why don't I just go ahead and just start reading. Julian, no, that's his middle name. Good grief, let me say that again. Hudson Julian Jones is a 41-year-old man who has led a very incredible life. When he was 9 years old, he resuscitated his mother. Yes, if this were real life, this would be true. He resuscitated his mother, a woman who was 36 years old, when she suffered a massive heart attack and was biologically dead for 29 seconds. On December 3rd of 1985, after performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation and chest compression, or chest pumping, and then called 911 immediately after that, his mother was still alive. When he was 15 years old, he got hired as a ticket usher at a busy movie theater location in Jacksonville, Florida, and was paid $5.79 an hour. $5.79 an hour in 1999 was for a kid who's 15. That's an astronomical amount of hourly wages. It really is. I mean, if you're in your 40s, you're poor. But if you're 15, that's big bucks. That's big bucks. Okay, so I'll keep going here. And let me say the part about the wages again. And was paid $5.79 per hour, which was astronomical amount of money for a 15-year-old teenager back in 1991. On June 2nd of 1994, Hudson became a high school graduate of a highly regarded public school in Jacksonville, Florida. And in late August of 1994, Hudson was accepted at Yale University in order to obtain a bachelor's degree in economics. And in late August of 1998, after being a graduate of Yale University, Hudson entered Villanova University to get a master's degree in business management. By the beginning of 2003, after graduating from Villanova and getting an MBA, he briefly moved to Washington, D.C., and was an economic analyst for the U.S. Department of Commerce. From February of 2003 to May of 2005, meaning that's what he did in Washington, D.C. After that, he cashed in a lot of stock shares with Microsoft and Boeing Aviation and moved to Pierre, South Dakota to work for a company that did business consultant for various parts of the United States. A company entitled Business Success Experts USA. And he liked the job a lot from May of 2005 until November of 2014. After that, he moved to Greenwood Village, Colorado, because Greenwood Village, Colorado isn't the super rich, but it's a little more upper middle class. It's more laid back. It's not urbanite. And a lot of people out there are mild-mannered and business type people. Oh, good grief, I lost my place. Okay, I found it again. And worked for a company that did special work for the state and federal government concerning business development and and success for the state of Colorado. Meaning he worked for a company where the state of Colorado outsourced the work that they and the research they wanted to see done to this company that he's about to work for. I'm just about to state the name of the company he's working for. The company was entitled Hamilton and ROSSBERG Limited. And quickly after working for them for only 2 years, Hudson became the number 3 man in that company, and he worked mostly his own schedule and traveled a lot too. In March of 2017, Mr. Jones takes a trip to Gary, Indiana, and tries hard to help the city Economic Development Committee realize what needs to be done so that Gary, Indiana can make an economic comeback. Before Hudson arrives in Gary, Indiana, he does some extensive research, and he sees some video footage that makes even the tough man feel depressed and startled. He finds out these key facts. The demographics history is as follows. In 1910, the population was 16,802 people. This is in Gary, Indiana. In 1920, population was 55,378, because in 10 years there was an economic jump going from here all the way up to here. And the other thing that he finds out in the same breath was that was a 229.6% increase in population. In 1930, there was 100,666,000 people. That's an 81.8% increase. And that's from going from here to here, figuratively speaking anyway. Or actually, if you compare it to 1910, it's from going from here to, actually from going from here to here. Or here, let me do it this way. From going from here to here. Okay, that's a better demonstration. Okay. So now it's going to get more intense, it's going to get more interesting. So keep listening, please. In 1940, the population was 111,719 people. That's 11% increase. In 1950, the population was 133,911 people, a 19% increase. In 1960, the population was, and you better hang on because these are pretty big numbers. You better grip on to the arm on your chair or the armrest on your couch or whatever. The population was, again, the year 1960, 178,320 people, a 33.2% increase. That's still pretty big. That's not the biggest ever, but that's big. From 1960 to 2010, the population decreased 72%. I kid you not. It went down that low. It went from being up here like that. Well, not like that, actually. Let me do that again. It went from being up here down to here. Okay, so this is going to get even more interesting. And the population wasn't, as of 2010, 80,294 people. And I personally think, I didn't look, but I personally think that the number of people that have left there between 2010 and 2025, probably over 10,000 people for sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but I have a strong hunch I'm right. There's at least a 84% probability that I'm right. Okay, so here's a little more reading. On Sunday, March 12, 2017 at 6 p.m. Central Time, Hudson arrives at the partially disheveled International Airport of Gary, Indiana. That's Gary International Airport, or I think what would be called IAG or whatever. You know, the three-word acronym or airport code would be. 3-letter code. And arrives at the boarding dock of American Airlines Flight 389 in order to be able to arrive at a Comfort Inn located in Hobart, Indiana. Now, the reason... Okay, the reason why he's staying at a Comfort Inn in Hobart, Indiana, inside Gary, Indiana, there is no motels, hotels, or even B&B, room rentals, room inside a house, room inside a townhome, houses for rent, apartments for rent, so on and so forth. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing. And Hobart is the only place that would have a Comfort Inn, and he thoroughly looked at the reviews on Google, on the Google profile, and he thought, well, there's been a few complaints, but that's probably the best place to stay. And what he does is he has a armed security guard drive him around Gary, Indiana, and it's an armed security guard who knows Gary, Indiana like the back of his hand. He'd been living there for over 25 years. The armed security guard's probably a guy in his late 50s. And, okay, I had to pause really quick to get a drink out of my coffee mug because I was starting to feel really thirsty and the way my voice sounded, I was starting to get hoarse. Okay, now. So, he, with the armed security guard, because the armed security guard does... No, actually, he sits on the passenger side, and Hudson does all the driving. And then what happens is he knows he says, hey, don't turn in over there, don't go over there, because it's streets where there's some pardon the expression, some really mean badasses that'll come out and start. They'll start getting big crowbars or instead of the tire arms where it's like this and like this, it's got that curve on it, and they can use that to they'll start whacking away at the car and they'll point guns at him and all kinds of sick stuff. I mean, they'll do that to not only Hudson, but they'll do that to the armed security guard. And he, as he's driving around, he sees a few houses that have a for sale sign from an authorized realtor, and he would write down the phone numbers of the place. And he would also go into, I don't think it would be McDonald's or a Subway. It would be a good Italian restaurant where there's not that many people in there, and the security guard says, yeah, you go in here with me, and they're going to treat you with respect because they really like me. And they sit and have lunch, and they talk for about 20 minutes, and then the guard says, okay, why don't we get back in the car? I don't think they'll come over and ask us to leave, but I don't want to find out. I don't want to see them do this. We better hit the road. And they just drive around some more and more and more and more. And there's only a couple of times we see a couple of fights. And they when they see the fight going, they drive that way and get the hell out of there, so that those people who are fighting don't take it the wrong way and start wanting to get tough with them, or assault them. And then what happens is after the first day, and after they've been driving around for probably at least 3 hours, he goes back to his hotel and he makes a lot of notes, and he starts doing a lot of research, and he starts looking at quite a few YouTube clips and archived videos of the TV stations that would do reports on economic development, fights, houses getting burned, all kinds of things. And then on the next day, they meet with the economic. I'm going to look that up again so I don't use the wrong definitions here. Yeah, the city, or the Gary, Indiana Economic Development Committee. And they sit and they really talk for at least a couple of hours. And the one thing that happens is after a couple of hours, they don't just bring in pizza that would be by Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's. No, they bring in some really good spaghetti and slices of pepperoni pizza that is just delicious. I mean, he really gets stuffed after he has spaghetti with meatballs in a bowl, and then he has a slice of some pepperoni pizza that is out of this world good. And then what happens is he he takes a flight back to DIA the next day, and he leaves at like I think it'd be about 6 p.m. roughly, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or, you know what? There's 2 different time zones in the state of Indiana. No, it's Central, because Gary, Indiana, and Chicago, Illinois are really not that far apart from each other. They're only about 30, 40 miles away from each other. Okay, so he leaves at about 6:30 Central Time, and that would be March 20th. That'd be a Wednesday. And then what goes on is the flight, because see, it's not a non-stop flight. There's a layover. They take a flight from Gary, Indiana's airport. Actually, it's more like there's instead of one stop, one layover, there's 2 stops. They take a flight from Gary, Indiana to I think it would be St. Louis, Missouri. And there's a layover there for about 45 minutes, and then he gets back on the American Airlines plane, and he takes another flight, or when he gets back on the plane, I should say. He takes a flight from there all the way over to Salt Lake, Utah. And then there's a layover on that one for about an hour. He gets back on the loading dock at Salt Lake Airport, back over to DIA. The amount of time that there has been taken to get this accomplished, and this is the best guess I can make. He gets to DIA at about 11:15. No, actually about 11:25 p.m. Mountain Time. And the one thing that happened that was a setback was two people that were supposed to do the luggage, take it off the plane, and I think they use a special, I think what's called a tramway vehicle, or a tramway tour bus, or a tramway, or a cargo thing, or a cargo vehicle. They have to wait until after midnight. Actually, I'm not referring to the passengers. This is DIA's employees working. They have to wait until midnight to get it off the plane, and it takes at least 15 minutes to get it all off the plane. And then they transport it over to where it's supposed to go, and then they start loading it into the system, because there's a lot of luggage. I mean, a lot. And then finally, after he has been waiting there for 40 minutes, he hears this, and it is vroom, 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 and a light flashing. The baggage claim area. And hold on a second. It takes at least 10 minutes at somewhere between 12:55 and 12:57 a.m. Mountain Time. He gets the luggage. And what he does is he doesn't have a friend giving him a ride. He goes over to the area that I think would be called ground transportation and rent-a-car. And he gets over to, I think it would be one of the cheaper ones called Dollar something. Dollar Save, Dollar whatever. Or no, actually it wouldn't be that, because he has his own car, duh. He goes over to the parking area, and it takes at least 8 to 10 minutes to get there. And then when he gets to the area he's supposed to wait, then the car's driven over to him. He puts his luggage in there. He takes his laptop and just sits it on the next page. And he drives. This is 55 minutes, because when he gets on, when he gets a little past I-25 or I-225, where it merges into I-25, there's a major traffic jam. 2 semi-trucks wrecked together, and there was a whole bunch of things I had to go through, and he does not get home to his nice house located in Greenwood Village, Denver Metro, Colorado, until 2:41 a.m. in the morning. And he thinks to himself, you know, me quitting this job, that would be a pretty big mistake. It's just one of those days, it's part of the job. So what he does, he goes into the to his refrigerator. He goes into the frozen area, and he finds, and this is something that that he bought right before he went on the trip. It's a fairly big breakfast burrito that is made by a new restaurant that opened in the office building, or near the office building, where he works at for Hamilton and ROSSBERG Limited. He pops it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and then he feels all around. He says, "No, it's not quite done." So he puts it in for another 30 seconds, and when he takes it out, he says, "Oh, I mean, it's piping hot." So he gets an oven mitt. He takes the plate. He goes over to the dining table, and he just feels it every few seconds, because I mean, that thing's piping hot. And he takes his first bite, and that's just right. Then he takes his second bite. That's even better. He takes his third bite. A little bit cooler, but you know, he expects that. He takes his fourth bite. He's like, so he carefully touches the plate. Says, "Oh, it's cooled off." So he goes back over to the microwave. He puts it in there for another 40 seconds. And he takes it out, and he eats that thing down. And I mean, as he's eating it, and he's drinking a thing of orange juice, he just like sort of like, "Oh man, I gotta get to bed." He goes upstairs. He takes a couple of prescription medications. He gets into his jammies. He says a couple of prayers to the Lord, and he falls right asleep. And he sleeps until 12:47 p.m. For him, that's pretty late. He's more of a morning person than a night person. Yeah. Well, that's about all I want to say about this story idea. And I tried to keep on track, but it was hard. Well, thank you, everyone. And goodbye. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't subscribed already. And I hope everyone has a good time and a good day and a good night. Thank you.